here we are, and I am going to be using this gorgeous shimmer vinyl for today's project. Now, I have a cup that I got from Michael's. You can get it from anywhere, the Dollar Tree, Walmart, wherever, or you may even have one on hand you just want to dress up. Now, I'm going to trim this down because I have a pattern, and I'm going to leave the link down below for this pattern for you guys. And it's showing me that I'm probably going to need about 6.5 inches of vinyl. So I'm going to take that down. I like to give myself a little bit more room, and I'm going to cut that at 7.5. I'm just going to trim that off with my Cricut trimmer. If you don't have a trimmer, guys, I'm telling you that the Cricut trimmer is the best on the market. I've tried them all. I even had a Caterpillar Pro, and it wouldn't touch this thing right here. I love my Cricut trimmer. I very rarely even have to change out a blade. So I am going to pop this vinyl on, and unlike iron-on, we do not mirror our vinyl on the mat. Do not mirror it. It does not need to be mirrored. If you do, then your name is going to be backwards. In that file, all you have to do is double click the name, and then you can change that and make it your name. And then, well, I would bring my letters together and weld it, but that is totally up to you. And just so you know, if you do not weld your name and your letters are touching, they will cut out of one another. So it's a very important step if you're using this file. So I'm going to load this on the mat. I'm going to cut it, and then we're going to come back and we're going to weed it. So while that is cutting, I have a little pump bottle here I got at the dollar store, and I have in it my alcohol, and I like to use a sponge. Okay, and the reason I like to use a sponge is because I can put the alcohol on one end and wipe my area down, and then I can use the other end and then dry that off, because if your cup is still damp from the alcohol, your vinyl will slide. If you want it to slide, that's good. Now I have a little handy dandy tool. This is just PVC pipe and something that one of my moderators sent me a while back. And all it's going to do is allow me to rest that cup in there so that I can work with it and get my stuff on straight without it rolling around. If you don't have one of those, I have taken and stuck 2 of my vinyl rolls and held it in between 2 of those. So you can do that as well. Now remember, I said that this has your strong grip at the end of the roll. It's kind of in the middle. So we're just going to roll that back up. And we're going to get that strong grip transfer tape out of there while it's cutting. And I know that my vinyl is going to be about 7.5 inches. So I'm going to cut this at about the same. I'm just going to run that into my trimmer. Nice and curly. And we're going to take that right up to that 7.5 inches. Well, we're just going to trim it off. Now I am going to cut my name separate because I'm going to put it at a different place on the cup. And I don't know that I'm going to use all of the spots from the CHEETAH print because it's laid out just as a square, and depending on your cup, you may or may not use all of those. So as soon as that finishes cutting, I will be back and we will transfer. Okay, so here we are. And I always, while it's still in the machine, I like to pull back a corner like this and check and make sure that it cut. And if it did, then I proceed. Because if it doesn't, don't unload your mat, and then just proceed to let it cut again. And got a few places. Weeding can be a little bit tedious on the specialty vinyls like this, but if you work with it, you can get it. So I am doing my weeding, and I did check to make sure that it had cut. But sometimes when you're weeding areas like this, you might need a little help. And your weeding tool is going to help you in this weeding process with pulling the centers out and getting it to relax. And I like to trim mine off so that I can work in certain areas. Totally up to you. You can trim the name completely out if you would like. But you can see I'm just using my weeding tool, and I can see on the back if anything is lifting up instead of staying on. And I'm just going slow. And if I see one that's not quite, I'm just giving it a little push. And I'm just going to hold it down while it pulls off, because all it is it may not have completely snapped that vinyl in that spot. And so all we're going to do is just help it along. All right. And we're just bring that one back down there. That way they all stay in place. They are cut. Like I said, sometimes I just need a little bit of help releasing that adhesive line. Just gonna help it out. So I'm going to continue and finish weeding, and then I will be back and we will transfer. I am not going to transfer anything without you guys seeing it transferred. Okay, and I'm just going to trim this off and keep it trimmed off so that you're not letting it fall and stick to your design. So get rid of the pieces as you weed. Super easy. I leave mine on the mat, easier to control. Okay, and I'm just rocking it back and forth. And again, I'm just coming in. You saw me trim off. I wanted to keep that bigger piece. I might be able to use it for something else. But just keep going. Have your weeder handy so that you can save any pieces that want to follow the trash. We don't want it to go with the trash. We want to keep it. And there we go. Super easy to weed. Now make sure you get all the counters out of your letters. We don't want those in there. I don't think there's one in there. Maybe. Let me check. I know that there's one here. And it's going to depend on your name here where your counters are. There is one there. So there we go. Not one up there. You want to check. I just go and look at my design on the canvas, because if I think there's one there and I go to picking at it and there's not, like this one, then you're going to damage your vinyl. So make sure that you double check before you start poking around in there, because it will mess up your vinyl. I apologize, my dog's a little loud. We're going to peel that off. I love this lay flat vinyl. Love it. We're just going to separate the name. I'm going to grab my transfer tape. I'm just going to cut a piece off right down through here and follow that grid line. I need my other scissors, and I have laid them down. Let me just use my trimmer. I meant to do this while I had my trimmer out and forgot. Putting that down. Now we got it. And I'm just going to guesstimate here, and I'm cut that. And now I have another piece there. I'm just going to peel back on the corner. Going to get rid of that little hanger on there. And I'm going to place it right over on the corner there, and then just peel this back, just so that it lays right down on that vinyl. Scraper. I don't burnish mine very hard unless I find that I need to burnish it hard. So I'm going to stick that there. Usually burnishing it very hard doesn't really do anything. It can sometimes make it difficult to remove the vinyl. I still have a piece of weeded vinyl. I don't want that to end up on my cup. There we go. My little counters from my name were sticking to me. Get that started. There we go. Yep, I let it go. I got it loose and I let it go. There. This is my hardest part. Trying to get the corner. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to peel back that corner and place it over my vinyl. Okay. Then I'm going to flip it back and start oops, got off track there a little bit. Start pulling back that vinyl. Okay. And I got a little bit, it's hinged a little bit, and that might help me here in just a second. So I'm going to bring my cup in and decide where I want this to go. Do I want it to go all the way up? I think I want to leave room for the lid of my cup. You need to check that. And I do. I'm going to start. I think if I put my thread right there, I'd be good. So now I'm going to burnish that down. Flip it over. Do it here. And then I'm going to flip it over and peel back the backing from the tape. I don't want to pull the tape from the backing this way. Sometimes that won't work. You can see I got pieces trying to stay on there. But if you peel this way and peel the backing off of that, usually you'll have better luck. Okay, so I'm just going to start working it back. Now you can pull the whole thing. I like to do just sections at a time because I don't know where this is going to end up on my cup. And I'm just going to place it and give that a little bit of a rub. Okay, just like so. And then I'm just going to start working back my liner. Okay, I'm not worried about making everything super duper stuck or anything at this point. And now I'm going to go in because I don't want to go too far up the cup. My cup is tapered, so I'm going to do some clipping. And I should have flipped this prior, but it's okay. I can make it right through there. And cut that apart. CHEETAH pattern really can't mess up. Oops. Unless you leave your pieces on the mat there. That's okay. I can peel those off and stick those in. And now I'm going to give that a good rub down. And I'm going to peel back flat against itself. Okay. Pull it back flat against your object. And you can save your tape. You can reuse it to stick it back down on your thing. And I'm just going to stick that off to the side. Any pieces that look lifted. Okay. And I'm just going to continue working this on. Now I have this one here. He actually goes in there. I'm just going to peel him right off and stick it. Stick him down. Just putting these spots that got left behind. Just put him right there. It doesn't really matter, does it? So now I'm going to work around and come in here again. I don't want to leave a gap, but I can always add some spots in. So I want to come back this way. I'll just put a couple in there. When you're working with a tapered cup, you may have to um, work it in like that. This was designed for a straight, like a skinny cup. Any pieces that are not staying on the tape, just give them a little shove. Like that one. Give it a little pinch down. He'll go. He'll go on there somewhere. But I barely burnished this, guys. There was no need to burnish anything really super hard or anything. Just, that one's messing me up because he's not in the right spot. I'm just going to take him off. I'll hold him off to the side here. This. I'm just going to stick it down and keep working around my cup. I don't want to let that fall against my cup. And hold that up. I'm going to flip again. Because I want to control. I got a dot. I want to control how high up those cheetah spots go. Now, if you're working, if you're new to working with something like this, I encourage that you get one of the straight skinny cups instead of a tapered cup. It will be much easier for you, especially if you're learning. I'm just going to leave that for right now. I'm going to hold that little spot off to the side. And I'm just trying to get this to go down on my taper. I'll have to get that wrinkle out of that. If you got a wrinkle in one, don't sweat it. You can fix it. Okay. And now I'm ending up here. And I'm just going to snip my tape apart. And that's going to give me some dots for filling in where it meets. Yeah. I'll stick that up above right now so I can get back to it. All right. And I have one that's got a little wrinkle in it over here, right here. I'm going to fix that. Don't press it down hard if you have a wrinkle in it, because you can fix it if you don't mess it up. We're just going to peel this flat back. Again, well, good. A little wrinkle. So I'm going to be careful with that one. I'm just going to pull this back. And this is good because I want you guys to see what happens if you get a wrinkle. I'm just going to let that tape tear. It's not going to hurt anything. And you can see right there, I have that little wrinkle. That guy right there. I'm going to lift up on my transfer tape and just let it come off there. Okay. All my dots stay. I'm just going to come in here and gently go in that wrinkle and lift that up. Okay, and then just press it down. Same thing on this side. Just give it a press down. Give it a good rub, and it'll all be okay. I think that was the only one that had a wrinkle. Stinking cute is this. Now I've got some extra spots. So I'm going to go in and like that right here. I think I want a spot in there. And then I have some extra ones here. I think I want a couple right there. maybe one there. You can use them all up. You can put them on individually if you like. I wouldn't do that, but you could. I'm just filling in a couple of the little spots that I think might need something so that I didn't waste any of my dots. How pretty is it? Okay, so now we are going to do our name. So I've already burnished that. Again, I'm going to peel tape, hold the tape down, and peel it back from the transfer tape. And decide where you might want your name to go. Let it pop down right there, kind of in the center. Right, I did mine right where the P was at, and then I'm just going to walk that back and that back. Okay, give it a little rub. And I wouldn't wash this for 24 hours. Make sure that you use your alcohol. That's going to enable your stick. Going to make it easier to work with. And we're done. How stinking cute. I love it. I got one dot or two above where my rim was, but I think it'll be okay. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. If it is, I can take them off and pop them somewhere else. But it looks like it's fine. Love. All right, guys, I hope that you're not scared to use that shimmer vinyl because it is gorgeous. Oops, got a little place right there. Make sure all of your dots are rubbed down. Go through them, just make sure everything is stuck. You'll be fine. Happy crafting. Catch you on the next video. Thank you for shopping my links down below.